Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome back to another flight with the PMDG 737-800. Today we are getting run over by GSX catering vehicles and we are going to fly the 737 from Chicago O'Hare all the way down to the brand new Palm Beach Airport. Thank you very much to the developers of Palm Beach for giving me a review version for the purpose of this video, and huge shout out to Verticalsim for still covering our airports in Florida and going so strong. So with all that said, let's get right into our aircraft and start working on getting ready down here. Now, you've just run me over once, you're not going to do that again, my friend. Alright, let's make our way into the flight deck. That's probably the safer location over here. So the battery is on, the power is already established, landing gear lever is down, flaps are up and agree with the lever, emergency exit lights armed, attendant call button is checked. Then we can test the... Alright, test the thrust, respectively the takeoff configuration warning. That's the word I was missing. Alright, and fire test is looking good. Squib test, left side, right side is looking good. Cargo fire test is looking good. Come on, transponder, you're supposed to be off here. Right, 2000 and standby. Then the voice recorder is coming on. Let's go ahead and test the flight recorder as well. Looking fantastic. Clackers, left side, right side, stick shakers. Left and right. So IRS into nav and all our equipment is here. Then we can put our code in place, put the flight back in place, and you should do the same. Now this is good old United, what do they say there? There's a new spirit in the friendly skies you'll land. Interesting one. Now that's a nice one, I do like that. Okay, cool. So we do have that. Then let's go ahead and take a seat down here. Lovely livery by J Aviation. He's just doing fantastic jobs with his liveries. Just think of the thrust levers over here. Think of the entire aircraft. I really think J Aviation is a fantastic guy. Now there is one small thing that I need to check though, because I do believe that the aircraft config may not have loaded correctly. So let's quickly head down here into the PMDG setup and aircraft. No, it is the correct aircraft. Alright, beautiful. So that stuff is done. Alright, lovely. Then we can take a seat, download our flight plan and start our check of that plan. So let's get started with the charts. And we are departing Chicago southbound all the way, almost straight line, down to about Fort Myers, and then we head east towards Palm Beach. We are following that jet stream over here with that area number 3, which is moderate turbulence up to level 400. So I'm quite afraid there is no way around that today, so it's going to be a rather bumpy flight. Now let's have a look if at the local airport weather is at least going to make up for it. Now Chicago is quite gusty and quite cross. 1 degree, 2957. Hey, they're reporting Virgas. Nice. We'll talk a bit more about what that is when we see them after departure. And then we got Palm Beach, clear skies, 17 degrees, 3017, and the forecast tells us that it's going to remain that way. Okay, so departing Chicago at 1640, that's in 23 minutes. We are going to be in Palm Beach like way early, which is not surprising with that jet stream today. And then we've got no critical weights here, cruising in flight level 370, and for the fuel section, 19,800 freedom units of fuel for the departure, plus taxi, giving us 20.2. Do we need any extra? Honestly don't think so, so 20.2 it is. Alright, let's go down into the weight and balance and load that plane from SimReef. Then we can go onto the precise loading and we'll take 20,200 pounds of gas, and that's it. So almost full aircraft, well actually completely full aircraft. And then let's go ahead and tell GSX to start boarding please. Alright, so with all of that going on, we can start setting our plane up for today's service as well. So we'll start with a light test, which is looking fantastic. So that stuff's looking good. Then let's go ahead and make sure we got airport and terrain selected, and that same thing on the right hand side as well there. Okay, and oxygen. Is looking excellent. Alright, cool stuff. So that is all done. Then let's go right down here into the data link features. ATS, ATIS, KORT, and send that. Thank you. Now, while we're waiting for the ATIS to arrive, we can start up here with enough data out of date. Oh yeah, wonderful. Of course, why wouldn't we? So, just install that nav data for me, please. Thank you very much. And now the nav data is up to date. I love it. Okay, GPS left position, copy paste, flight plan request, or to PBI is looking good, select, and on the way. And then while we're waiting for the flight plan to arrive, let's check the weather. So we are leaving Chicago, departing runways 27 left, 22 left, 28 right, wind 190 at 12, gust 24, scattered 11, overcast 2500, temperature 1, QNH 2957. Okay. No, not you, but you. So 2957 is set, and MFRA is going to be 1670 then. So let's quickly set that one as well. Here we go, 1670, and then we can transfer this over to the other side. Alright, lovely. So, then we got that stuff. Weather is overall looking very good. And then back into the flight plan, load that route. And while we're on it, let's also grab our departure charts. Generally speaking, we are just looking for the airport chart and the parking gates over here, because the only departure we got is the O'Hare 9 departure, and that's basically radar vectors. So 3,400 is the MSA here, top altitude of 5,000 set, but yeah. Okay, so departure Chicago, runway 28 right, and arrival Palm Beach, ILS 10 left. And we'll be arriving via the Voodoo 1 arrival. Here we go, and coming from Zeppelin. And we do have a transition for that. Okay, finally, let's head over to the right-hand side. Give me the Lex page, and up here we're arriving at Gullo, so we'll take the Gullo transition. Alright, flight number is gonna be... Actually, what am I typing here? We're not American. United 2342. Okay, activate, then a quick check. So, Dent, Darcy, Drax, Dungy, Scotto, Swap, Quebec 97, Zeppelin. Okay, that's all looking fantastic. Not much to check in here. So, progress page, 1,060 nautical miles versus 1,076 nautical miles. That's good enough for my taste. Okay, in it, performance, cost index, 30. Reserve fuel, 3.5 plus 2.5, that's easy, that's 6. Zero fuel weight, 135.4, and flight level 370 is the cruise level. Wind, let's see, at the top of climb 317 at 1 to 1. Like that. Top of climb temperature -60. And transition 18,001. So noise abatement procedure 2, and for the climb we have 250 below 10,000. Lastly, fixed page, Chicago, and a 25-mile ring around that. And, well, can we already... Yes, we can already request our winds. But can we? Press execute, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, now... Okay. Fine, fair enough. So, Scotto is the first waypoint. And here are the winds. Load. Cruise wind uplink loading. Execute. That's all looking quite good. And for the rest of the FMS, 8.5. And the minimum was 6.0. So we're looking at an extra fuel of about 20 minutes. Fantastic. That's all we're going to need today. So we do have fuel in the center tank. No APU running just yet. Okay, so let's see. Up here everything should be set. Flight directors on. So, runway heading.
133.0.
428 right is 273 degrees. Like that, and we'll put the same stuff into the courses as well. Okay. Fuel flow is reset, engine oil quantity is good, and hydraulic quantities are good. Standby QNH 29057, that's all set. Moving further down. So parking brake is set, frequencies. O'Hare clearance 1216. And ground, probably the outbound ground 12175. So then we need the guard frequency. And the 8 is 135.4, because why wouldn't we? Like that. Okay, lovely. Then let's see if we've got anything for our nav radios. Such as O'Hare DME 10825. Down here everything's set. In the middle everything's set. And on the right side so data is selected, all the rest is set, beautiful. Okay, cool, then our setup is completed, so let's go ahead and request our IFR clearance. So ATC center is going to be KUSA, and we're at, doesn't say, or will it? Charlie 24. And we have ATIS ID November. Okay, that's all looking fantastic. Send. And while we're waiting for the clearance to arrive, we can go ahead and start our departure briefing. So threats for today's departure: complicated taxi and slight disagreement between the taxi charts and the...
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome
interesting. 10825 gives us an error. That works. So 10825. Okay, now it all works. Good, fair enough. So departure request status, clearance being processed, stand by, and here's our clearance. Clear to Palm Beach, maintain 5000. So departure 133625. And squawk 2423, expect runway 28 right. And here we got Palm Beach, 28 right, and squawk 2423. We'll go. Alright, cool. So all of that is looking fantastic. Then let's attempt that briefing again. So threats for the departure, to be honest, I don't have any. Then let's go for the route track. We are going from Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta to Kilo Papa Bravo India, Uniform Alpha Lima 2342, and the routing is via runway 28 right, direct Dent, direct Darcy, direct Drax, direct Dumgu, direct Scotto, direct Swap, Quebec 79 Zeppelin, Voodoo 1 arrival, ground distance 1059 versus 1076. 8.5 remaining, 6 required, giving us 20 minutes extra. Okay, time UTC 1630, altimeter 2957, reading 670, M-freight 1670, flight directors on, minus master, standby instruments are set. Left seat takeoff, runway 28 right, for 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and for the engine out, straight at 25 miles. Emergencies, above 80 knots, I'll only reject for fire or fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind chill warning, or if the aircraft is unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I will simultaneously close the thrust lever and disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum auto braking, or verify max manual braking. Manually raise the speed brake lever and apply maximum reverse thrust, and when the aircraft comes to stop, I will set the park and brake. If you call stop, I will know if the brakes on, speed and call speed brakes up or speed brakes not up, and thrust with normal out, normal indications. Call 100 knots, 8 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, call your anti-emissions, I call auto brake disarm, and select flaps 40 when the park and brake has been set, and advise ATC of the reject. We then identify the failure and carry out angels as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we redo the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CVR circuit breaker, you grab the lid, then we get out. If the call before we want us keep going, there'll be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise the landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, verify heading select and carry out the memory items. At the M-fray, we buck up and retract the flaps on schedule, flaps on the lights, select level change, MCT, automatics, non-normal checklist, normal checklist, PIOS units, PA, and then we make up a plan. So the pushback is going to be with a nose to the right hand side, and then taxis probably somewhere down here, maybe via the outers, maybe even the northern routing, we'll see. In any case, to runway 28 right, which we must not confuse with runway 22 left, which is just a little bit further straight. So if they clear us onto Yankee, we carefully gotta taxi Yankee and not all the way to Victor. That's making it even worse. Victor and Yankee look pretty similar to one another. The one is just a V with a little dash below it, and that's Yankee where we've got to go. Alright, our departure is going to be a radar vector departure, initial 5000, MSA 3400, and yeah, that's it. Do you have any questions or suggestions? Nope. Alright, then that's our departure briefing completed. And just while I'm looking at it, we forgot something over here. So 370, and then let's see, Palm Beach field elevation is 66 minus 50, so 16 feet, then we can leave it at 0. Alright, great. So that stuff's done. Then let's see about GSX. Boarding completed. Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of United, welcome aboard our Boeing 737-800 on our flight to Palm Beach. Today's flight time is going to be approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes, expecting a little bumpy ride due to some strong tailwinds today that are also the reason for the short flight time. We'll be closing the doors shortly, then we are just finishing up the last paperwork before starting our engines and making our way to runway 28 right, departing westerly direction and then turning southbound towards Palm Beach. The cabin crew is shortly going to commence their safety demonstration. I'd like to ask you to pay your full attention, as that's not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the passengers sitting around you. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Had to build in an that's what they do all the time in the USA. Alright, so APU is starting, then let's go ahead and do our takeoff performance. So the zero fuel weight is 135.4. And that's what we got with a CG of 24. Okay, so takeoff performance tool, runway 28 right, and we'll take that thing in pounds today. 155,700. Let's calculate 156. CG 24. Anti-ice off, air conditioning on, and the weather. Down here, runway 28, wind 190 at 12, gust 24. We'll calculate 190 at 12. Temperature is 1 degree, and the QNH in inches 2957. Okay, that's all looking fantastic. Calculate, takeoff 1 at 35. Alright, giving us 90.1. And that looks good. And then flaps 5, CG 24, trim 5.33 units, which matches the EFB. And takeoff speeds 145, 146, 151. Those are all within 1 knot, then we can accept those FMS speeds. So trim is looking good, V2 150 is set. Okay, lovely. So the performance is done. Then prepare for pushback and departure, and no de-icing required, but you can remove the external power if you are going to ask, with the emphasis on if you're going to ask, which they're not. Fine. Close up. Okay, that's looking good so far. Safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to the line, please. Services and shocks checked, maintenance status checked, batteries on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, ship's library checked, iris mode selectors, nav, gear pins, 1, 2, 3 removed, probe covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed, light test checked, oxygen test 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer display switches normal and auto, fuel 20.2 required, 20.3 on board, 6 pumps on, cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights armed, fast modes on, window heat on, air conditioner pressurization, PAX auto bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector auto, instruments cross-checked, auto brake, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brake. Down to 10, parking brake set, stop and cutter switch is normal, wheel fire warning checked, radius radar and transponder, set standby, rudder and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, PA complete, FMC CDU set, N1 and IS bugs, automatic, reduce 24K, speeds 45, 46, 50 set, stop trim 5.3 set, performance went in balance, side send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight windows and cockpit door are locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete. Alright, so let's go down here into the ground options for a moment. Doors, close all done, arm all done. Equipment, release all, and then ground power can be released, and the chocks can be removed. Alright, that's all fantastic. Then let's switch over to ground and call for clearance. Ground from cockpit. Please confirm that all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Alright, thanks. We'll call for clearance. O'Hare ground, United 2342, request pushback and startup.
United 2342, pushback approved, tail northeast.
Pushback and startup approved, tail northeast, United 2342. Before start checklist below the line. Air compacts off. Anti-collision light on. Park and brake set. Transponder out off. Before start checklist complete. Ground from flight deck. So you can start the push. Tail northeast. Park and brake set. Roger that. Tail northeast, so facing southwest. And please release park and brakes. Park and brake released. Thank you. Start the pushback and stand by for engines. Just wondering, can we... Oh yeah, we can actually view that from down here. That's nice. I kinda enjoy this view, but do take me along.
Cabin attendants, arm doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard United Airlines Flight 2342.
I actually gotta say, this is quite the interesting view, isn't it?
About 2 hours and 20 minutes. Please pay close attention.
Finally seeing the whole massacre from the GSX perspective. Watch it, guys. That guy's going through the last couple of seconds in his life right now. Just like that nose gear. Alright. So, ground flight deck, we're starting engines 2 and 1 without sequence.
Mobile phones and electronic devices must be set
Engine
to
2 start.
and larger devices must be stowed during takeoff
And 2.
landing. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited anywhere on board, including the lavatories. Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed.
Oil pressure and 1.
Mask firmly, place it over your nose and mouth, and breathe normally. Secure your own mask before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat. Put it on, fasten it, and inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In case of evacuation, leave all personal belongings behind and follow crew instructions immediately. If a power bank...
Start a cutout, isolating a pack, and starting 1.
The safety
Clear 1.
information card contains all details. Thank you for your attention.
And 2. Oil pressure, and 1. Pushback completed, set park and brakes. Park and brake set. Start a cutout, monitor 1, number 1 stable.
Ground United 2124, taxi to the ramp.
Alright, so that good stuff is done. And they're working down there. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna do the rest of the procedure as well already.
Papa 2, Papa Delta Delta Bravo, Quebec, Uniform 7, Uniform Taxi Lannick, United 2124. Ground United 455, taxi to parking.
So, flight control check. Pull up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. And with the rudder we are waiting until we have seen the pin and the ramp agent. In the meantime, there's a tuck, there's a tow bar. And there's the ramp agent with a pin in his hands. Rudder. Full left.
Charlie 1, Charlie Zulu.
Full right. Neutral. And the clear signal is seen before taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected, and the green light, stop trim 5.3 required set, start lever idly turn, flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. United 2342, request taxi. Alright, that's the ramp agent, and he is behind the line. In 3, 2, 1 now.
Runway 28 right taxi via Uniform 6, Quebec, Bravo, Lima Lima, November Yankee.
Please say again. I wasn't fast enough.
United 16903, taxi to the gate.
United 2342 Yankee.
What Yankee? Okay, could you please say again the entire taxi instruction for United 2342? No? Oh, lovely. Okay. Well, I just looked it up in the say intentions window. So, Uniform 6, Quebec, Bravo, Lima Lima, November, Yankee 3. Okay, so let's try and put that into a routing. Uniform.
138, give way to the brickyard ahead.
Give way to the brickyard and Embraer 75, United 2138.
Quebec. No, Uniform 6 gotta be somewhere over here. Quebec, that one? I don't know, I mean... Then Bravo is eventually down here. So probably just straight ahead via Uniform, Bravo, Lima Lima, and then Yankee. That's gotta be it. Yeah, that's what I meant. The scenery is rather outdated compared to the charts. So, we gotta live with it. It's the only Chicago currently available. Maybe something for MK Studios once they're done with Miami. Okay, brakes off, config. Maybe it makes more sense when we're able to read all those taxi signs over here, but we are going to find out. I kinda consider this to be on the apron still, so 15 knots maximum here. Okay, well, that routing doesn't seem to make too much sense either here. I'll tell you what, we'll just swing over and go on the Bravo, and then we'll just be following Bravo. I guess that sounds like a plan, doesn't it? If you got nothing better to do, just upload yourself and go on the Bravo. At least we know that Bravo leads us on the parallel to the runway, so I suppose we can't just follow this like all the way. This is a very, very shallow turn, so let's go all the way up to proper taxi speed here. Okay, before takeoff checklist down to the line, please. Config, checked, flaps. 5-5 green light, stop trim 5.3 set. Takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff 28 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2. We've got pack auto bleeds on, anti-ice off, and the sit is radar vectored, climbing 5000, contact departure when advised. And engine out straight at 25, climbing 4,000 with an MSA of 3,400. And that's pretty much it. Is there anything from your side? So, according to the chart, we just keep going over here for now.
Charlie 1, Charlie, Zulu, hold short of runway 9er right, then Hotel Tango Kilo, Quebec, Uniform 7, Uniform Skywest 59er, 39er.
Alright, so cabin secure before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. Okay, so now we continue on to Bravo until we reach Lima Lima, which is going to be just over here. So start on the left turn and then it's 90 degrees right onto Lima Lima to go parallel to the runway again. I wonder if they are just simply using alpha in the real world, since that doesn't require those strange turns. Would seem a little bit more logical to me. Okay, Lima Lima shall be to the right over here, and that's confirmed on the taxi sign as well. And nice and slow, 10 knots. Left is clear. Right is clear. Seeing all the Americans over here, you may recall that I accidentally started typing American into the FMS during the pre-flight. Well, originally I wanted to fly this with American Airlines, since they have a couple more flights on this route than United, and since I kind of wanted to use the old bare metal heritage livery. But unfortunately, I gotta say that while the United gates are looking pretty good in this scenery, the American gates, no, not so much. Very mixed scenery in terms of the quality. United stuff, really good, but the American gates are gates that I wouldn't want to fly to. Which is a pity, seeing that this is a payware scenery and it doesn't cost, like, no money at all. It does cost quite a bit. But hey, it's from the same developers as GSX, so I'm not surprised there. Alright, we're parallel to the runway now. And then we just gotta make sure we don't miss Yankee, which is gonna be next on the right hand side. Not the easiest taxi over here, especially when the ATC instructions don't match the airport layout that you got in your sim. Okay, Yankee is coming up, and that's gonna be to the right here. There's no traffic coming from the left.
42, contact tower on 128.15. Take care.
128.15, American 2342, see ya. O'Hare Tower, United 2342, ready for departure. Okay, 133.
2342, O'Hare Tower. Not clear what you said. Say again.
United 2342 is ready for departure. Oh god. Speech recognition.
United 2342, expect runway 28 right for departure.
No, really? What is the AI understanding here? Well, they actually understood ready for departure. So, what now?
342, runway 28 right, winds 190 at 12, gusting 24. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff, United 2342. Yeah, that's something I can work with. Cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Approaching 28 right.
Line up. No, actually before takeoff checklist below the line. Boeing World. MCP. Set. Transponder. TARA. Strobe lights on. Landing light on. Before takeoff checklist complete. You ready for rolling takeoff?
On runway.
And let's go.
8 right.
Takeoff. Checked. Quite a bit of wind actually. Man, I can barely hold it. This is almost full rudder input. Gear up. .400. Heading select. Match for the runway track, please. Here we go. And acceleration altitude. Flaps 1. Over to departure, United 2342. flaps up. Speed checked, flaps up.
United 2342, roger, squawk 2340 noted.
O'Hare departure, United 2342, passing 2,700, climbing 5,000. I think you said 2340 just after departure there. Okay. Vertical speed 1,000. Please put even more instructions into the same message. Left heading 155, climb maintain 10,000 and altimeter 2955, United 2342. Like, what the hell? Okay, 2955. Is all set. Command A. And after takeoff checklist. So, air conditioner and pressurization, 2.6, climbing, set. Altimeters, 2955, passing 7,100 now. That's the after takeoff checklist complete. Vertical speed. Okay, I think we can already release that cabin crew. Okay, so that is all looking good so far. Vertical speed 1,000. United 2342, any chance to proceed direct dent? 1,000 to go. Checked. Third dent then is filed, United 2342. Execute, LNAV available. And LNAV. Then as filed, United 2342. Because yeah, why wouldn't you, huh? Alright, so that thing is done. Then we can continue our climb over here. And yeah. Unfortunately, level off in 10,000. By the looks of it. In any case, that means we can already accelerate it a little bit. So, speed into vent, give me 290. Actually, what's the final climb speed here? 288. Yeah, fair enough. Here we go, 288. Okay, well, I suppose then we can do the 10 checks up next. So fuel is balanced with 6 pumps on, lights are off, APU's off, air conditioning and pressurization 3.6, climbing and set. Fasten belts, yeah, let's keep them on until we're through those clouds over there. Recall is checked, 1 to 1.5 is getting monitored, and that's our 10 checks basically completed. Well then guys, I do hope that we are going to get further climb clearance shortly, but I'd already say sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and then I'll see you all on the approach later on. Alright, my friends, we're expecting the ILS turn left, and we can start our approach setup. So we are currently still following the Voodoo arrival, and as you have probably seen, we only got our descent clearance a tiny bit after our top of descent. You could nicely see the energy compensation feature of the 737 in action there, and yeah, then when we did initiate our descent, you could see catching up with 11,000 feet isn't all that difficult from cruise altitude. Increase the descent speed, then you've already made up half of it, and the rest is easily done with a speed brake. And no, contrary to popular flight simulator belief, a high vertical speed is actually not much of a problem. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about the approach itself. We are going to be flying the ILS runway 10 left, and the approach, or the star, basically leads us onto the extended center line, and then we start our approach. Now, the minimum safe altitude is 2600, frequencies, courses, 099, 11.9 are all set up over here. Transponder should be set to be low right now. And apart from that, we don't really need anything here. Runway 10 left, can probably put that in here, 25-mile ring, 10-mile ring, and a 4-mile ring. And that's it. Alright, so I think that's pretty much the important stuff over here, so let me catch you in with the rest of the entire approach briefing. So threats for the arrival, the only one I see are birds, so not much we can do about that really, except to maintain the 250 knots below 10,000, and that's it. Now for the FMS, 250 below 10,000 is in here. We don't really need the forecast any longer, but we can just quickly load those winds. Thought I had them already, but here we go. So winds forecast loaded, 30.19. Can go into the QNH as well. Fixed rings, runway 10 left, 10 miles, 4 miles. And for the arrival, let's have a look at the final. Wilbur 3000 or above, Caesar 2000, and all of that checks against the chart. Then we got a 3-degree descent down to the minimum of 216. Which is set on the left side and on the right side. The go around, straight at 2600, climbing left on a 3000 on heading 232, inbound on the Palm Beach VOR radial 343 to Morga, and hold. So we got straight at to 600, the left turn 323, and then 343 inbound Morga, climbing to 3000 and hold. Frequencies, well, courses 099, frequencies 11.5 and 15.7 for the Palm Beach VOR for that radial over here are set, and the minimum is in. Now, for the arrival fuel, we got 8.7 and the minimum is 6.0, so we're looking at roughly 25 minutes extra, burning 300 pounds. We end up at 144.1 and flaps 30 it is, 147 knots. We are going to vacate runway 10 left on the left hand side, probably via Delta or Hotel, something like that. And then Bravo, gate 3 up here. So we'll see how exactly they're going to clear us. Yeah, that's what we're doing, relax. Alright, here you go. Okay, do you have questions about the briefing? No? Lovely, then that's our approach briefing completed. So, 10 checks. Fuel balanced, 4 pumps, lights on, bank 25, air cannon press, set 2.0 descending set, fast modes on, recall checked, 1 to 1.5, still monitoring, 10 checks complete. Where's the click spot for the armrest? Nowhere, because it's down already. Okay, my bad. Okay, so descent checklist, please. Pressurization, land alt 0, ANI-eyes off, approach main fuel disgusting, eyes and outbox checked and set, approach checklist complete. Okay, so far so good. So that stuff's really easy. Then we are completely set up, just gotta get close enough that we can actually use or that we can actually receive the ILS so that we can start the frisk, and then we've done everything we had to. Alright, easy going. Very easy going indeed. Beautiful terrain outside as well, isn't it? Like a completely different part of Florida compared to what we are used to from here. Like the other parts of Florida that we usually fly into, Tampa, Fort Myers, Orlando, they all are looking quite different than this area here. So, what is that big thing in front over there? That big bright one. Looks like an airport from here, but probably isn't. At least not according to this. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. You can see that it's slowly getting summer again. Just look at how bright our aircraft is shining here. I could definitely get used to this. So now I'm really interested to see what that is in front over there. 1000 to go is checked. United 24, correction, United 2342. Can we already descend to altitude 3000? Okay, set. And 3000 checked. Descending altitude 3000, United 2342. I thought our first officer was still handling the radios. But I hope she is, because I want to do a little bit of manual flight. So, all manual. Win. Okay.
Cleared for the ILS 10 left approach.
Here we go, she is
via
still talking.
United 2342.
So, frequency is 111.9, fixed rings, runway 10 left, 10 miles, 4 miles, islands, India, Papa Bravo, India, standby instruments, set, course is 099, approach checklist. All means and instruments, trust checked, approach rates, check and set, approach checklist complete. So, VSD on your side. Not receiving the glide slope just yet. So, some construction site or something it seems.
Switching to Palm Beach Tower on 119.1. United 2342.
And here we go. Now we're receiving the full ILS. Approach armed. Wall capture. Runway heading 099 set.
Palm Beach Tower, United 2342. Good afternoon. Established on the ILS runway 10 left approach.
Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And flaps 5. Speed checked. Glide slope capture. Go around altitude 3000 set. Flaps 5. 220 knots, a little bit fast there, going through 10 miles. Well, dial that speed down and use a bit of speed brake here. It's not gonna do much, but it's doing something at least. So, Palm Beach Airport is in sight and at 12 o'clock.
United 2342, winds 11010, runway 10 left, clear to land.
So wind is down the runway 10 knots.
2500.
Terrain noted.
Clear to land, runway 10 left, United 2342.
Alright, speed brake retracted again, and recall, clear to land. Now the cabin's secured as well by now. Gear down, flaps 15. And flaps 30, landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall check, speed brake, armed green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set, flaps. 30, 30, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete, crew seated, clear to land. So, a little turbulent over here. But overall, not too bad. Typical Florida weather. When it's warm, it's turbulent. 500, continue. So, let's see how the new Verticalsim Palm Beach is. First landing at this airport, I think.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
For real, a freeze in 10 feet? Here we go. Well, no comment on that. Speed brakes up, thrust is normal, idle reverse.
1,000
No comment.
100 meters remaining.
80 knots. Manual brakes.
1,000
60 knots.
remaining.
Okay then. Here we are.
United 2342, welcome to Palm Beach. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Switching to ground on 121.9er. United 2342. Palm Beach ground, United 2342. Good afternoon, cleared of runway. Ready to taxi to the gate.
So we're going somewhere here on Bravo 3.
Ground taxi to Terminal B83, Delta Charlie Bravo Alpha today.
Okay, we've located Delta,
Ladies and
Charlie,
gentlemen,
Bravo,
welcome to Palm
Alpha.
Beach. Did you know that Palm
via
Beach is home
Delta,
to some of the
Charlie,
most
Bravo,
beautiful
Alpha,
beaches in the world?
United
Thank you for
2342.
flying with United Airlines.
So that's easy. Straight ahead, right hand turn again, and then we're already at the gate.
Thank you for flying with United Airlines.
Excellent. So GSX gate Bravo 3, no follow me required. Thank you.
Carefully. Flight 250 to New York City. Departs at 4:15 from gate A12.
Sometimes I wish the reaction time of the AI would be a little bit lower when
Gate B5.
it's doing
Enjoy your time.
conversations like this, so that we get our taxi clearance a little bit quicker. Because I gotta admit, it's quite nice to be using the AI first officer here for the radios, so that we can focus on the manual flying and stuff like that. Because I'm sure you've noticed in many of my videos that when I'm doing manual flying, but suddenly we gotta do pilot monitoring work at the same time, like handling the radios and stuff like that, it always has that tendency to screw up an otherwise lovely manual flight scenario. Okay, so Bravo to the right. And then we got 3 minutes, shut down engine 2. Okay, we taxi one further, that's gonna be Alpha, we turn right over there, and Bravo 3 is somewhere over there. I gotta love the ability to do single engine taxi on the 737. PMDG have done that really well. I do remember times not so long ago, actually in FS 2020, where single engine taxi was almost impossible in most aircraft. Nowadays, PMDG is doing it really well, Phoenix are as well. So the number of developers giving us the possibility to do that has really skyrocketed. And many of them are even doing it quite well right now. And in the real world, it's such a common thing to do that it kind of hurts me every time that I can't do it in the sim if an add-on doesn't really support it too well. Okay, so they haven't really told us which taxi lane to use to get in, so I'm just going to be that guy, and I'll be going straight across. Start APU. And lights off. So, radars off, lights are off. And Bravo 3 should be that one here, or that one. That's 7, then that's 5, and that is 3, okay.
Runway 10 left taxi via Charlie 7, Charlie hold short of runway 32, then Charlie 1 Delta 119er 0.
Alright, and stop. 2 blue, 1 red, engine's dead. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, and here we are. Welcome to Palm Beach. Engines are still spooling, that's fine. Alright, and there's 20%. So, transit shutdown checklist. Electrical is on APU, fast mode's off, ProPeat auto, NEI's off, voice recorder on, air compact's auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed on, exterior lights, steady and wheel well, start switch is off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, park and brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar is off, transponder 2000 standby, CB/RCB in, cockpit door unlocked, transit shutdown checklist complete. Right, flight ground, hello. Hi. So, the trucks are in position, you can release the brakes, and we'll get you the power shortly. Alright, thank you very much. The airplane's fine, don't touch it, and then I'll see you up here in a moment. Thanks. So, power is coming, and they are ready to start the deboarding. So, door management, disarm all, and then one left can be opened. Okay, and with that, welcome to Palm Beach. Beautiful airport from my first impression. Would have been even more beautiful if it didn't just hang itself up right in the flare. MSFS when it's loading testers for the first time. That's what I get for trying to, you know, get surprised by the airport and not checking it out before. Oh well. Can't change that now. In any case, guys, welcome to Florida. Thank you very much for flying along. Do hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave your feedback in the video comments underneath. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And do check out Palm Beach International Airport by Verticalsim. I'm also going to link that one in the video description below. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.